Serving as timer during a club meeting is a great way to get familiar with the flow of the meeting and to get experience with providing feedback to other members. When members hear how long their speeches were, it helps them plan their go forward strategy. As timer, you will be instrumental in facilitating this development process. At the beginning of the meeting, the Toastmaster will call on you to explain the role. During this mini speech, you will need to cover the what, why, how, and when of the timer role. By the way, in case it's not obvious, the who is you. Start out by explaining the importance of time management in our speaking opportunities. Knowing why we time our speeches is half the battle. For example, if you're given 5 minutes to present at a company town hall, you need to plan a speech that is 5 minutes or less. Otherwise, you risk getting cut off before you can deliver your key points. Or worse, you can become that person who talks forever. Be sure to outline what will be timed during the course of the meeting. Normally this means speeches, table topics, and evaluations. Check with your Toastmaster if you're not sure. Next, you'll want to update attendees, especially guests, on how the process works. Here's a small script as an example. Speeches are generally 5 to 7 minutes. The green light will come on at the minimum time of 5 minutes, the yellow at 6 minutes, and the red light shows when the maximum time limit is met at 7 minutes. Speakers then have 30 seconds to wrap up their speech to qualify for the Best Speaker Award. After this explanation, go on to explain the same for the 1 to 2 minutes for table topics and the 2 to 3 minutes for evaluations. It is not necessary to show the color rotation all 3 times, but it may be helpful if there are guests. Depending on the equipment available and whether the meeting is online, you might need to get creative with displaying colors or the timing. It's a good rule of thumb to have a cell phone or stopwatch handy just in case. Finally, after each segment of the meeting, the Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, or General Evaluator will call upon the timer to deliver their report for the speakers who participated. If you're at an in-person meeting, stand at your chair to deliver the report. If you're online, make sure you're off mute and go for it. Speaking of online meetings, here are a few tips to help you out. First, consider adding a sentence or two to the explanation of your role to clarify how to pin the timer on a speaker's screen. This way they'll be able to see the timing cues during their presentation. The standard colors for timers to use are red, yellow, and green. In most cases, the colors are enough. However, be aware that some members may be colorblind and that writing out the colors on the props could be extremely helpful. Recently, we've seen everything from colored file folders to paint chips from Home Depot to book covers serve as the props. It all works. Just be sure to explain your process at the beginning of the meeting when called upon to do so. Toastmasters International has also created Zoom backgrounds that showcase the colors and the words. These backgrounds are available online, or you can get techie and make your own. Just a few more tips that will come into play as you get more experience with the timer role. First, while most speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, there are exceptions. If you're confused or unsure, take a moment to clarify the length with the Toastmaster and the speaker during your role explanation or before the Toastmaster introduces the speaker. You should also feel comfortable collaborating with the speaker on their timing. If the speaker knows that they need 7 minutes to effectively communicate their message, then it may be smart to run with a 6, 7, and 8-minute prompt. Or if a speaker is delivering a more unique project with a built-in Q&A session, you'll want to work with them to best make sure of the timing cues. Another beneficial task timers can perform is to capture a brief title for the table topics during that section. They can then share that Alan spoke for 1 minute 30 seconds on bee migration patterns. These additional insights will help members recall speeches and allow them to vote more knowledgeably for the Best Table Topic Award. The last tip is reserved for when the meeting is running on a tight timeline. In these cases, rather than listing everyone and their respective times, you might say that everyone met the minimum timing requirements, or everyone except Bobby met the timing requirements. This approach shaves some time from your report, especially table topics. Let members know that they can check with you after for their specific times. Now that you know the basics, plus some, about the timer role, don't be afraid to sign up and give it a go. As with any task, it takes practice. Please reach out to any officer if you have additional questions.